My fiancé's family insisted on a prenup before the wedding. I agreed calmly, but added one clause of my own. When the lawyer read the line that said she would owe me everything if she betrayed the marriage, the room went silent, and her father's confident smile completely vanished. I'm a 45-year-old man, and I never thought I'd be the type to tell this kind of story. I've always been the quiet one, the steady one, the guy people rely on. Maybe that's why they thought they could walk all over me. I met her 4 years ago at a charity event. She was elegant, charming, and came from what people call old money. I didn't care about that. I'd built my own life, worked hard, saved smart, and by the time I was in my early 40s, I was comfortable. Not rich by her family's standards, but solid, independent. We dated for 2 years before I proposed. Everything felt right, or at least I thought it did. The first red flag came when we started talking seriously about marriage. Her father invited me to lunch at their country club, one of those places where everyone knows everyone and the waiters wear white gloves. He ordered for both of us without asking what I wanted. Steak, medium rare. I don't eat red meat, but I didn't say anything. I was trying to make a good impression. "So," he said, cutting into his steak with surgical precision, "I assume you're aware of the family's expectations." I wasn't sure what he meant, so I just nodded. "We'll need to have our attorney draft a prenuptial agreement. Standard procedure, nothing personal, you understand, just protecting what's ours." The way he said ours made it clear he wasn't including me in that category. "Of course," I said. "That makes sense." He seemed surprised by how easily I agreed. His eyebrows went up slightly and he leaned back in his chair, reassessing me. "Good. I'm glad you're being reasonable about this. Some men get emotional." I smiled, didn't say a word. 2 weeks later, I received a 47-page document via courier, the prenup. I'm not a lawyer, but I'm not stupid either. I read every single page. Twice. Here's what it basically said. If we divorced for any reason, I would get nothing. Not a penny of her family money, not a share of any assets acquired during the marriage, nothing. There were clauses about infidelity. If I cheated, I'd owe her a penalty. If she cheated, well, the document didn't really address that. There were provisions about children, about property, about businesses. Everything was structured to protect her family's wealth. We sat in a conference room with windows overlooking the city. Her father was there, her mother, her older brother, her attorney, a man in his 60s with silver hair and an expensive suit. My fiancée sat next to me, looking bored. My lawyer sat across from me, perfectly calm. The attorney started reading through the document, section by section. Her father nodded along, occasionally making small comments. Yes, that's fine. Good. As expected. Then we got to page 32. The attorney paused, read the section silently, read it again. He looked up at my lawyer. "This is new." "Yes," my lawyer said. "My client requested an addition." Her father frowned. "What addition?" The attorney read the clause out loud, word for word. The room got very, very quiet. Her father's face went red, not embarrassed red. Angry red. "This is unacceptable," he said. "Why?" I asked calmly. "Because it's ridiculous. It's not how these agreements work." "It's exactly how your agreement works," I said. "You protected your daughter from me. I'm protecting myself from her. Seems fair." Her mother made a small sound, almost like a gasp. Her brother was staring at me like I'd just pulled out a weapon. My fiancé looked confused. "I don't understand. What does this mean?" "It means," her father said slowly, his voice shaking with barely controlled rage, "that if you make a mistake, you could lose your inheritance, your trust fund, everything." "A mistake," I repeated. "The clause specifically says adultery, financial fraud involving joint assets, or willful concealment of significant debts or financial obligations. Are you planning on either of those things?" The question hung in the air. Her father stood up. "We're done here. This is not happening." "Then there's no wedding," I said simply. Everyone turned to look at me. "I'm happy to sign your prenup as is, with this one addition. Or we don't get married. Your choice." My fiancé looked between her father and me, panicking. "Wait, we can't just..."
"Sweetheart," her father said, not taking his eyes off me, "we need to discuss this privately." They left the room, all of them, except for my fiancée, who stayed seated, staring at her hands. "Why would you do this?" she whispered. "Do what? Protect myself the same way your family is protecting you? They're just being careful. So am I. But you're acting like I'm going to cheat on you or something." I looked at her, really looked at her. "Are you?" "Of course not." "Then what's the problem?" She didn't have an answer. Update 1. They came back 20 minutes later. Her father's face was composed again, but I could see the tension in his jaw. "We'll agree to the clause," he said stiffly, "with one modification. The definition of betrayal needs to be more specific. We can't have vague language that could be interpreted broadly." My lawyer and their attorney spent another hour hammering out the exact wording. In the end, we defined betrayal as adultery, financial fraud involving joint assets, or willful concealment of significant debts or financial obligations. Fair enough. We all signed. The wedding was back on. But something had shifted. Her family was cold to me after that. Polite, but cold. Her father barely spoke to me at the rehearsal dinner.
I sat in my home office, staring at those photos for hours. I didn't confront her right away. I did something else first. I called my lawyer, sent him everything, asked him what my options were. "The prenup is clear," he said. "You have grounds. She violated the infidelity clause. If you want to move forward with divorce, she'll forfeit her claims according to the agreement." Including her family's money? Including everything specified in the contract. Her trust fund, her inheritance rights, all of it goes back to her family's estate, and she gets nothing. That's what she signed. I thanked him and hung up. Then I did something I'm not proud of, but I don't regret either. I called her father. "We need to meet," I said. "This isn't a good time. Your daughter is having an affair. I have proof. And according to the prenup, she's about to lose everything." Silence on the other end. "I'll be at your office in an hour," he said. He was alone when I arrived. No lawyer, no family members, just him sitting behind his massive desk, looking older than I'd ever seen him. I showed him the photos, the investigator's report, the hotel receipts. He didn't say anything for a long time, just stared at the papers in front of him. "What do you want?" he finally asked. "I want a divorce. Clean, quiet, fast. And I want the prenup enforced. This will destroy her. She destroyed us. There has to be another way, some kind of arrangement." I shook my head. She made a choice. So did I when I signed that prenup. This is what she agreed to. "I'll give you money. Name a price." "I don't want your money. I never did." He looked at me then, really looked at me, and I saw something like respect in his eyes, or maybe just resignation. "She's my daughter," he said quietly. "I know. Please." I stood up. "The papers will be filed tomorrow. You can tell her or I can. Your choice." Final update. I told her that night, showed her everything, the photos, the investigation, the divorce papers. She cried, begged, made promises, said it was a mistake, that she ended, that she loved me. "You signed a contract," I said, "and you broke it. This is about money? You're doing this for money?" "This is about respect and trust, and the fact that you